Okay, pretty good hand. What Cascade deck do you think is best at the moment? I mean, it's like kind of always Living End. Or maybe it's always been Glimpse and nobody knows how to play the deck. Let's say Mold a 6 on the play. Did you ever think to open chest in this stream? I heard that percentage of good prizes increases when you open more chests at once. I think that that's almost definitely not true, but I mostly open them for like entertainment rather than just maximizing value. But I also think that's almost definitely not true. Just like weird confirmation bias probably. I might like want to cast a lightning bolt on my opponent's turns. I'm gonna bubble myself. Definitely gonna keep a shredder here. Jitte would be okay because it's about the image 2 stuff. I mean, every Hammer Time deck gets to play a Jitte. I don't know. How do I just get baited into the same fucking conversations every day. I need to ignore like 1 or 2 questions a stream maybe. They're not playing Jegantha, so they might be playing like Liliana, Season Pyromancer. Yeah, I gotta learn. I mean, I saw the first comment. I think it'd be okay to unban half the modern ban list. I ignored that one. And then I just I just can't help it. Just compulsive question answer. I think I just need to prioritize getting rid of the shredder this turn instead of triggering it for my opponent every single turn the rest of this game. If I respond to you, Heek, this is going to be probably the third. Every stream this week we've talked about Faithless Looting. Every single stream this week. I think I will just shut up for once. Yeah, I will avoid all Stunlocks today. Brainstorm and Modern. Okay, we can talk about that though. We can talk about how someone came in. Their first comment in the chat was, my modern hot take is that Brainstorm would be a good card for Modern. That was their hot take, and that was their first comment in the chat. That is just I don't have anything to say beyond that is something that happened. Because what else can you say to that? So, did they have a land for Croak? So it looks like they do. So I probably discard the Iteration to the Croaksa trigger and then the Mesa to the Salvaging. I have a pretty easy chump block too, because it's just coming back. Although my opponent might just want to leave this back to block a Phoenix. Yeah, I guess that makes way more sense. They're at 9. Okay, so if I Salvaging, I get a Phoenix back. If I Lava Dart. Let's see what my top card is. It's a land. Oh no, I did this wrong. Because I'm just discarding this to Croaksa, and then I have my Salvaging Rebound. I was supposed to just discard this to Croaksa and then stack my triggers where my Salvaging resolves before my Bauble. So we've messed up. Yeah, I agree that we have to dart. The real hard question is, do we attack? I kind of like attacking. Yeah, now it's time for the scheduled Aspiring Spike Stunlock to talk about the stupid sub-game that's been so popular in the Magic community where, again, you identify the card you want in Modern because you think it'd be fun, it's good in your pet deck. That's step one. Step two is to convince. This is the hardest part. It's the hardest step. Is to convince the Magic community at large that your pet card would be bad, actually. The card that you secretly want, you have to convince everyone that it would be bad, actually, so it's a good unban. And then step three is to, now that you've successfully tricked the Modern community, you get to have fun and, play your broken card forever. Let's go to another Kroxa. So I was hoping to find land 1-mana spell or 0-mana spell and the growth, which we don't find, but I guess we take this. Is TCU gonna still make CPU YouTube videos and stuff? Yeah, that's the plan is for like the content side of things to not change at all. We just take 6. Got a lot more outs to win if we take 6. That's a pretty good draw. Might get drowned locked though. Graveyard, I think a Shredder. Trying to high roll a little bit, get a Phoenix back. There we go. There we go. They get to connive though, so they can maybe connive into a drown in the lock. Discard Dragon Skull Summit. I definitely keep the Lightning Bolt on top. This resolves. Awesome. Monastery Swiftspear is simply too low power level to put in the hand here. Even beating 2 removal spells. My opponent declares that I was so lucky. My opponent declares I was so lucky instead of countering my Expressive Iteration. Which would have stopped me from bringing back Phoenix and finding Lightning Bolt. Lucky indeed. I feel bad. I'm roasting my opponent who's nervous and asked me to concede, I think. I'm just pointing it out. You can play 1 Flusterstorm over Growth 4. Yeah, they could have also counted the Manamorphose, but they might have drawn the Drown off the Connive. I think that they did. I think that they did. Remember pre-Modern Horizons, Swiftspear's most powerful card in Modern? I did too. I also thought, like, either Swiftspear or Titan was the best card in Modern pre-Image 2. Swiftspear was just so nuts. It was crazy. Okay, we can keep this. Need to find a land in the top 3. Oh, we have 4 looks, really, because we have 2 draw steps, Bauble, fetch land. In brewing, that's my process for land count, which it's not like the most helpful answer. I've written an article on, like, my land selection process. I think that I really recommend reading that article. It's one of the ones I'm most proud of. You can find it in the Channel Fireball deep dive section. Frank Karsten has really good articles on land count to play, but for me personally, I play so much and I build so many different decks that for the most part, I kind of go off of feel. And then I experiment a little bit. Like a lot of times I'll like build it like for feel and I'll do some playtesting and usually the land count gets kind of hammered out those first couple of playtesting sessions. Although sometimes like in the case of like the red-green deck, I'll get it wrong and I just need to be playing less lands down to 14 because of Abundant Harvest. But it eventually gets hammered out. There's definitely some like weirdness when it comes to like selecting your land counts too, where like in the case of Esper Reanimator, I would like to play 23, but that list is like really just like so tight that there's not a lot of room, and so like I think that like you play 21, you kind of cheat a little bit. Like you either play 21 lands and you're like 2 light on white cards for Solitude because you're playing 1 less white card, or you play 23 lands. Or you play 22 lands and you have like 1 less mana source that you might like. It's kind of a wash. And so I find that kind of happens a lot. And then, like, articles, like Carson's article for, like, land count, like, doesn't take into factor, like, the Abundant Harvest formula, Mishra's Bauble. It's just kind of hard to have a formula for the land counts. Okay, so what are we discarding? Probably discarding the Mutagenic Growth. I think I'm casting Iteration. My opponent probably counters it, though. They don't counter it, but I also break really hard. But I'll keep another Phoenix in the hand. Reed also has a really good lands article on Channel Fireball. Can't remember what it's called, but I know he has a good one. I think my opponent's pretty likely to crack this fetch. I'll salvaging in response. They didn't crack the fetch. I guess I'll salvaging an upkeep. Okay. No hearse, please. Can I talk about my decision making when it comes to Brew Companion or not? Jessica Lotus Field was built around Kihira. Okay, so Jessica Lotus Field was not built around Kihira. There's just like no other you just meet Kihira's companion requirements, so you get to play it and it's good in the deck. Don't overthink it. If you've brewed a deck and your deck gets to play companion, you should play it every single time. If your deck is like one card away from a companion, you should heavily consider one or two cards. You should heavily consider playing the companion, and probably should. Although there's got to be some exceptions. Okay, so let me go bolt the Shredder before I trigger Connive. Okay. You should heavily consider playing it. You don't have to play it, but you should, again, very seriously consider. And then if you're like beyond that, then you just don't need to worry about it. Call. The sad, lonely bird. Brother's dead. Gotta fight the fight by himself. Love to draw land here. There we go. Wait, I have how many lava darts in the yard? Okay. Yeah, we mulled the 5 game with 3 Hitachi. Probably keep this on the draw. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Am I planning to play the song deck? Not really. I don't like to just like, I don't like to, just like pick up the deck and learn it on stream for the first time. I like to do my prep off stream so I can be knowledgeable and informative on stream. Or try to be at least. There's a good chance that I can't attack with one of my 1-power creatures next turn, so maybe I go Swiftspear this turn into Channeler on turn 2. Been losing to Hammer Time so far today. GG Kuro. Why is it money play? I'll pick a hero because they play Yorion instead. Can't play both. My favorite canister moment was watching him discover his color blindness live on stream. Is there a clip of that? I'd love to see that. One's kept a 1-lander. No, they haven't. They might not be. No, they're not. They're not a Hammer Time if they're playing Misty. What are this matchup's weak against? There's no weaknesses. I think Hammer Time is a bad matchup. I think of all the tier 1 decks, Hammer Time, Living End are probably the two that you don't want to see the most. Shani, 8 months, appreciate you. I don't think you're favorite against 4 color, but I don't mind to see it so much really. Yeah, Titan. I feel like if you win the die roll, you can kill Titan before they kill you sometimes. You have Magus in the sideboard. But probably a bad matchup overall, yeah. 3 mana for my opponent. Playing Thopter Foundry. Have I played any Blue-White Affinity? Yeah, I've played a bunch of it. It's an okay deck. I think I'll graveyard this for Delirium and maybe dig deeper towards the Phoenix. Lightning Bolt doesn't seem too bad. I kind of think that the dig deeper for Phoenix argument maybe makes some more sense though. Although now, I think I keep this on top. And maybe I'm just presenting lethal here, right? I have to find Delirium. I've got a bunch of Scries. Oh, they can sack and block. They can sack and block. I'll just actually graveyard. Okay, so I think I like attacking to maybe bait them into a bad block more than I like trying to find a Phoenix off the Surveils. They don't make a bad block, though, so if we mill over a Phoenix, so be it. I'm going to try to find Delirium here. Barely found it. Barely found it. Put it down to 2. 3 mana for my opponent. For a Teferi the Fun Raveler. Bouncing a Channeler. So they can crack a fetch, go to 1, sack a Esper Sentinel, go to 2, jump block. I forgot about this. Oh, I can't cast it because it's a fairy. Okay, well, that's maybe for the best anyways. Let's go Shredder, Channeler, looking for Lightning Bolt or Lava Dart. But don't hate discarding that, I suppose. And send both at my opponent. Goes to 1. Sacks a Sentinel. Or maybe, do they block and sack? I guess they block and then sack. Yeah, blocking and then sack was a bit better than this, I think. How's the next Tron matchup? I think it's okay. Again, if you win the die roll, you're winning game 1 most of the time, and you have Magus and the Moon in the sideboard. It's kind of play draw dependent, but I usually don't think like play draw dependent matchups like that are too bad. Oh, DRC is flying. You're right. Never mind. Well, I will say winning game 1 against blue-white Thopter Sword is really nice when we get to just slam 4 Ancient Grudge in the deck. I think against the white-based removal, it's kind of just easy 4 Grudge for Mutagenic Growths, and we probably don't need to worry so much about Sanctifier and Vec post board, although you never know. Any tips for winning your die rolls? Weighted dice, I guess. It's a joke. Don't cheat. Please don't cheat. Well, one time I played a GP one time where I had an opponent who was I can't remember exactly their mannerisms. It's been like 6 or 7 years. But it was the only time I've ever been suspicious of weighted dice. I can't remember exactly what happened, but they were just really, really weird about the die roll. And the way they rolled it, and the way they looked at it, and the way they looked at my hands. It was all weird. Magus Star Wars for potential Saga. Grudge is a fine way to deal with Saga. I don't think you really want to hear. Again, I can't remember exactly what happened, and I'm not saying they definitely were, but out of many, many years of playing Paper Magic, there's only been one time where I thought maybe my opponent had weighted dice. But they also handed me the dice. I don't know how it works. Maybe sometimes people are just weird, Sometimes people just spaz out a little bit. I'm the perfect example of that. Kuru, thank you for the tier 1. Appreciate you. When you say 1 or 2 cards from a companion, do you mean 1 or 2 copies of actual cards, like Rakdos is 3 cards of Jegantha? No, Rakdos. Yeah. I mean, not copies of cards, total cards. Not Rakdos is 10 cards away because it plays Voidwalker, Spyro, Liliana. If you're playing Spyro, but you could play Fable, if you have like 3 Spyro, you could play Fable instead. Then maybe you play Jegantha. Fable's a good new deck anyways. Oh, I should have played the Islet because I kind of need this to get me my Stomping Ground. Should be okay though. There's one guy by LGS who refuses to high roll. Yeah, the spikes have really, I think, given themselves a bad name for the whole high roll versus even odd thing. Because like, okay, so like the spike thing is to do high roll, even odd, because there's only one roll. Only one person rolls. It's faster. You get into your match faster. But the vast majority of people, I think, at least this is my interpretation, that the majority of players prefer to do high roll because it's kind of fun, right? You know, you roll, I roll, you get to like there's like a little bit of tension. It's not like a huge thing, but I think for the most part players prefer to high roll, right? And I think as soon as the spike starts explaining why it's better to do even odd, you've defeated the point. You've completely defeated the point, because the time that you could have saved by doing even odd is over. It's just gone. And they're playing Gemstone Caverns? What the hell? The amount of time you could have saved by doing even and odds, as soon as you start arguing about it, it's over. It's completely it's completely gone. You've lost. Is my take, I guess, on the matter. I think I discard this so I can try to iteration into Ancient Grudge. I have 4 Ancient Grudge in the decks. I really need to find one. I'm even gonna graveyard this iteration because I just need to find one so badly. Still don't find one. This is kind of a repeat, I guess, of our trophy match. I think I make red now. For a Black Rock with Hearse, is there any way he swaps 2 copies? For Black Rock, and he swaps for 2 copies. Lily. You can play Kolaghan's Command instead of Liliana, it'd be fine. Is even odd with 2 dice equivalent? Yeah, like, there's no real reason to roll 2 dice, but yeah, I think it should be the equivalent. I think so. Maybe it's not. Oh, dang it. Sorry, I wasn't looking. I should have flashed back the dart. Alright, so Swiftspear underpowered because you throw them away. Okay, so we're going to discard our Phoenix. Unless we like mill over an Ancient Grudge and feel super lucky, we want to flash back on the Relic. Just can't find an Ancient Grudge. We have 4 in the deck. We are very, very deep. Very, very deep in the deck. Please, Ancient Grudge. So they pop their Relic, they make 3 tokens. We just pass. We just pass. We have 4 Ancient Grudges in the bottom 30 cards of our library, though, which is something. But we're maybe just not going to be able to win at this point. Tech for pants. Well, an actual Kamigawa block Tiny Leaders, huh? I'm not going to read the cards. It looks very fun. I think I'm drawing pretty dead, but I will play it out. So they sack the sword, we grudge the Thopter Foundry, we grudge the Portable Hole. They have enough blockers to kill me. Right. Game 3 on the play. Check the deck. I refuse. I refuse to Kamigawa block tiny leaders deck attack. Can complain on Twitter. So I've got another, while we're on the very, very interesting die roll conversation, I've got a real head scratcher for you, a real big puzzler about dice roll etiquette. If you roll 2 dice, and so you've selected high roll, you roll 2 dice, one of the dice that you've rolled is a 1 on the table, the other dice lands on the floor. What do? Do you re-roll both dice, or just re-roll the dice that ran on the floor? Rolled on the floor. Re-roll. Yeah, you re-roll the one on the floor, you re-roll both. Just the dice that fell. Floor only, re-roll both. Just floor. So, I was in this situation against a Hall of Fame player who will remain nameless. But he rolled this exact thing happened where he rolled a 1 on the table, the other dice fell on the floor, and he's like, he picked both up and said, I get to re-roll both of these. And we called the judge, he was right, but I was like what? It didn't really make any sense to me that you get to re-roll both, but he's like, I've called the judge about this in the past, you get to re-roll both. Yeah, we called the judge. It was fine. Like, the judge ruled in his favor, and, good beats. It was just so weird, though. It was not Gab. the player will remain nameless, but definitively not Gab. I've never played Gab in paper. In normal dice games, reroll both is crazy. Yeah, it feels just so weird to me. It feels weird to me, but, I mean, whatever. It's not like a big deal. I just thought it was kind of funny. I never thought the ruling would have gone that way. Okay, graveyard that. Okay, let's keep Shredder and try to have Shredder in hand to loot this extra Phoenix away. Okay, maybe got a little punished. Do I just want to keep the freaking Ancient Grudge now? Could keep the Salvaging for the next Phoenix. I could see that being correct too. So if I don't draw I can try to connive into a spell. I'll put this into the hand, bottom, exile the Salvaging. Lightning Bolt this, try to surveil into a spell that can let me connive, which is this here, get back my Phoenix. Would you reroll both if the table one was a 6? Yeah, that's kind of the thing too. Like if like the one on the table is a 6, like, does the players like announce that like that's the rule, it's not a huge deal. Yeah, apparently, so like the thing is you like have to reroll both, but like I don't know. Like the judge call also took like 15 minutes. It was really obnoxious. Where like it was like this is like a very unspoken rule, or like not something that comes up that often. But like judges do not want to deal with your dice roll judge calls. They just want you to handle the dice roll judge calls. They are not interested in deciding, which is almost always not a very relevant thing. Why we're using 2 dice anyways? They're my opponent. 99% of the time when you high roll with Magic, it's 2 dice to reduce ties. But they were my opponent's dice. My opponent picked them up and just rolled them. What do you mean? Why was I using 2 dice? I've never done high roll with Magic, and it only rolled 1 dice. What do you mean? It's your fault. You were using 2 dice. It's your fault, Spike. Oh no. Well, we're dead. They have the Urza into the sword. Nothing we can draw. Infinite life, infinite mana. Bummer. It was pretty gnarly. it's not the Pro Tour. It's not the Pro Tour. It's a Players Tour. It doesn't count. Don't call it a PT. Once the spins, Crushing Footfall. Shredder's really good against Rhinos. By rocking an EDH. I still haven't built the Magna deck. I'm trying to, though. Main phase Petty Theft. Kind of Ledger Shredder flooded, huh? Are they going to force this? Was I just supposed to play another Shredder? Maybe I was, actually. Okay, they don't have a Cascade spell, which is really nice. She's hoping to find a land off the Manamorphose. Are they gonna ice me? What is this draw, dude? I guess they didn't have the Cascade spell, so I can't be too upset. I just felt so ahead. I don't draw the land at the forest. Brutal. Sacks the Waterlogged Grove. What a weird game. Love to draw land. I just go for the kill? I think so. They have to have Brazen Borrower or Force of Negation to survive. They've already used one Borrower. I could just go to damage too. I could just go to damage without flashing back the dart. Because if they do the Petty Theft, then it's kind of a disaster if I flash back the dart. And they don't have force. They would have forced the lightning bolt. My opponent says 2 fetches. We finally get to bring in these counter spells against the Cascade deck. Definitely want to keep with the Mutagenic Growth since it helps my creature survive the 2 damage. Probably gonna cut my lava darts. Maybe play like cut 3 darts, 2 salvagings. Can probably keep this on the draw. There's a pretty good chance my opponent like burn spells my channeler and I can save it with Mutagenic Growth. Or on the draw also. Pretty high upside hand. Have I tested Invasive before? I've tested this deck, and it's just kind of like a ward to keep Cascade decks away is honestly how it's been. Which is not the worst, since Cascade decks are typically these types of strategies' worst matchups. Open it for 3. Force of Negation is a good one to know about. It's definitely going to be very good against my Manamorphose. Doesn't feel too bad to draw an Arclight Phoenix, though. Main phase Violent Outburst, playing around Sighted in Counter Magic. Makes sense. So I'm going to get I'm going to go Ledger Shredder. And then Mutagenic Growth my Swiftspear. So I can attack with my Swiftspear and my Channeler. And the kind of like the idea behind this attack is to bait out the Force of Negation on the Mutagenic Growth. And I can bring back Phoenix next turn. They won't hit my Manamorphose. And if they just trade a Rhino for a Swiftspear, I'm also like pretty happy with that trade because I think I'm like pretty ahead in the race if they trade here. You can see if Mesa being interested in a deck with less cards going to the graveyard. Yeah, you need to be able to turn on Delirium, I think, for it to be good, or like better than Flusterstorm at least. Right now I'm playing 3 Flusterstorm, 2 Invasive. I'm not like super duper married to that split, but I think the split's okay. Wait, they didn't double block? Oh man. Yeah, that was definitely a punt. Petty Theft the Shredder. So my opponent only has 3 cards in their hand. There's actually like a pretty solid chance that they just like don't have a blue card. If they do have a blue card, they go down to 1 card in their hand. I think this is kind of fine too. Just jam. Definitely want to keep a lightning bolt on top. Okay, force pitching dispute, which is okay. My top card is Lightning Bolt. Do I want to use my mana for Lightning Bolt this turn? I think yes, I do. The Mutagenic Growth would make us 7/8. So yeah. I mean, I think you just always have to double block there. They do get to put 2 more rhinos into play. They're dead if the channeler hits them. They're dead if we can bring back Phoenix, if they have a removal spell. With 2 cards in their hand, it's gonna be really tough for them to come back here. We'll draw Lightning Bolt for turn. Start off with an Expressive Iteration. I guess I'll keep a land because a land would let. I guess another bolt is maybe not a super necessary draw, but a land would help me play 2 1-mana spells for Phoenix. But like Lava Dart already is lethal. But this is fun. We just go Mutagenic Growth here, or here rather. Lightning Bolt them, bring back Phoenix. Endurance would maybe get me. They don't have Endurance, and we were 2-1 after losing a pretty nasty Game 3 to Blue-White Affinity. It's starting to feel like the quest for the best Prowess variant is like a never-ending journey. They're all like pretty reasonable, all about the same power level. This is maybe the best one though. So we're playing against a Tron variant, and it doesn't feel great that we have a slower hand against a Tron deck. Could have also maybe it was correct to Lightning Bolt them to play around this being Eldrazi Tron and then using Chalice of the Void on me. One nice thing is if they had Dismember, we could have actually saved it with the Mutagenic Growth. Oh no. My worst matchup, and no matter what deck I'm playing, Mono Blue Tron. Thankfully have the Mutagenic Growth. I think I just discard the Steam Vents there, discard the Channeler, pop in for 4, pass back. How's your Tron matchup, chat asks. Tron matchup is good unless they're mono blue, and then can never ever win. So I'll Lightning Bolt and discard the Dart for some value. See what my top card is. Iteration. Okay, with Iteration on top, I will just not flashback the Dart here, just attack. Well, if they like, yeah, if they Shark Typhoon as a 1/1, I'll probably block to get an extra damage. Sorcerer, 3 months. Thank you. Is Blue Tron popular? Not really. I'm mostly joking around, but like it is definitely true. Like I like Mono Blue Tron and Karth are 2 decks that just kind of constantly crush me on this stream. Especially during the trophy race. Trophy race, like those 2 decks just like always look the sickest. So discard Wormcoil Engine and just Wormcoil Engine. See if they have an Urza's Tower. Without an Urza's Tower, I think it's gonna be pretty tough for them to get me here. We're gonna do another trophy race soon. I don't currently have plans to. It's been a pretty busy year for me so far. I've been a bit more focused on like grinding the RCQs. I think that next season might be a good time to do it, but I'm not like committed yet. And I also like don't really want to do it just to do it. I want to do it because I want to do it, and I haven't felt the like uncontrollable urge to trophy race again. Yeah, I think my next RCQ is 2 weekends from now. It's another limited one, which I know is kind of weird for me playing in them, but this one is a lot smaller. I think this one is capped at like... This one will be by far the smallest one I'll have played at. I think it's like 24 players or something. My last limited RCQ was 126 players. Got 9th. Painful. I'm really discarding the... Yeah, I guess I'm discarding the Iteration. Lightning Bolt's just too good here. So I'll crack the Islet into turn then. How do RCQ Magus have caps so my country gets 20 RCQs max? I don't know. The whole system is really unbalanced, right? Where, like I see a lot of people talking about like Doomwake is going to a 24-person Pioneer capped RCQ. My modern RCQs have been 100 players. It was DreamHack first, which was like 200 something, 300 something. And then my second RCQ was 100 players. Then it was like 46. And it was like, I'm not sure, like 30-something. 30-something one was really sweet. And then I had a sealed Double Masters 126 player RCQ. It's just super unbalanced. It's just all unbalanced. Malren, thank you for the 20 months. Appreciate you. I don't know how I want to sideboard against Mono Butron. I think I'll do something like 1 Growth, 1 Magus, 2 Grudge. Change jobs, so I have to watch Unlocked a bunch. Glad to be back to something. Thank you. Congrats on the new job. In Europe, we mostly don't have RCQs yet. Yeah, it's just like so unbalanced. It's really weird. At the very least, like I think these bigger RCQs are fine, but like I think if you're over 100 players, you should have 2 invites or something. It's just I think again 126 players giving 1 invite in the same way like 16-person Pioneer ones do just feels unbalanced to me. Didn't take out the other growths? I thought I did. Oh, I meant to. I think we have a yeah, I think we have a above average deck size here. Yeah, the 62 card special on accident. Okay, there are better cards in Modern than Spatial Contortion, alright? I think that's been the... dude, the Shredder's a 7-3. This Spatial Contortion card is... does not hit like it used to. Okay, Dismember finally gets the Shredder dead, though. It's funny as I even wanted to trim more of these. Maybe I should just be leaving in the Mutagenic Growths. I don't know. Okay, so I'll go Hand, Lightning Bolt, Bottom, Phoenix, Exile, Swiftspear. Then cast Swiftspear, and the next turn I can go Channeler, Lightning Bolt, Lava Dart, bring back Phoenix. With 4-1-1 on Lotus Field RCQ, unlucky in the breakers, finished 10th. Brutal. Yeah, I was 5-0-1, or I was 5-1-1 in my RCQ this weekend to get 9th. Okay, so I think it's important that I be able to Grudge and Flashback this turn to be able to beat a counterspell. Pump in the brakes a little bit. Would E be better, worse if the card put the bottom was put in the graveyard? It would be way better if the card got put in the graveyard. It would be so much better than it. I mean, it's already very good, but be a big upgrade. Yeah, I'm considering moving to moving to the middle of nowhere in the Midwest in order to have better value RCQs. Okay, so I can keep this Bauble on top, and I can go Swiftspear, Lightning Bolt, Lava Dart, Flashback, Grudge. It's probably okay. Modest, thank you for the raid. Appreciate ya. Welcome to all the raiders. Don't I live in Texas? I live in one of the like biggest hubs for Magic, paper Magic in the country. The Dallas Fort Worth area is huge for Magic. Isn't Texas middle of nowhere? My Metroplex has like 3 million people in it. It's just there's a lot of middle of nowhere in Texas, but not where I am. I'm gonna grab Hall of the Storm Giants of the map. Because I Bauble myself, I might want to crack the Islet. Yeah, I'll go to the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin for the RCQ. Sounds like a great time. No cap. $6.5 million by recent counts. Yeah, Yeah, I even thought that 3 million sounded low, but I was just like, I didn't want to exaggerate. And it's also like, how much are you counting? Just counting like Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington, because it really is just like one big city. It's like Coruscant. But, you know, where do you draw the line? Alright, my one of Magus. To beat Mono Bluetron, you have to sideboard like Mono Bluetron, just like a lot of one-ofs, and then accidentally 62 cards. Their counterspell? Condescend. Brutal. One top, one bottom. I know I have a Phoenix. What card are they keeping on top here? It's gotta be something crazy. Something crazy. Alright, game 3 on the play, and then yeah, these Mutagenic Growths are just great. I'm just gonna actually unsideboard. They're playing Spatial Contortion, Dismember. Just keeping the growths. This hand's great. Gonna keep. I don't think we've cast an Invasive Surgery today, unfortunately. We did board them in against Dredge and Rhinos. Eugene. The main phase, the salvaging, so it resolves. Hopefully. Oh boy. I think Breakthrough, Careful Study are too powerful for Modern. Careful Studies would be like one of the best cards immediately. I don't know, Breakthrough is probably fine. Yeah, every time I play Phoenix decks, I get Phoenix fans who are like, Spike, what do you think about printing Careful Study into the format? I think it would be not that good, actually. Because that's a very important part to the subgame, again, is when you're trying to get your pet deck buffed in Modern, a big part of it is convincing the community that your card that you want would be bad, actually. Peru, thank you for the 9 months. Appreciate you. Guess I should let this happen first. Going to Dallas next month. I really like Common Ground games in Dallas. Store owner's really nice. They've always treated me pretty good over there. Main phase crack map as a just kill me. Please, just kill me. They have no fight left in them. Okay, this is enough damage. I don't need to go crazy. Okay, 3-1. 4-1 the last league. O2 dropped the first one. 3-1 now. Maybe could have won this match too. We played more Pioneer. Is it Gearhulk? I haven't played much of it. I know Everos, a good streamer, good friend of mine, best friend in the world actually, has been playing it, been liking it a lot. Am I still alive? I think so. Hope so. Yes, also alive. Cavern of Souls, where you do have Lava Dart up against the Cavern of Souls deck. Could just be Titan though. So actually get an upkeep stop set. Yeah, it is just Titan, the best Cavern of Souls deck. We definitely need to race. I'm gonna upkeep a Lava Dart. Be great to like surveil a Phoenix into the yard. Although I guess I have to keep this Manamorphose. Take my draw. I guess I'm Lightning Bolt main phase, but mostly just need to keep digging. I do have these Magus at the sideboard for the matchup. Illusions, thank you for the 16 months. Appreciate ya. Glad you liked the stream. Graveyarded Lava Dart for some value. Let's make blue-red. Another Manamorphose. Need to find some Phoenixes. Although I guess here we can go red-red and kill this Dryad. I think I'm graveyarding and just digging for Phoenixes / Delirium. Okay, that's finally my second type. This sounds weird. This is a weird line, but I think I'm just gonna go all in on like looking for a Phoenix. Okay, let me just Mutagenic Growth first. But I have 4 looks at a Phoenix here with these Surveils. I don't have Delirium at the moment. I have no cards in my hand. I'm up against Titan. I feel like in order to win this game, I need to find a Phoenix. I have like 4 more looks, and here I go, just bidding everything. But I have no regrets. If I find a Phoenix, they're on a 2-turn clock. I have 4 more looks. They're on a 4-turn clock right now. It's not gonna be enough, but oh no, I miscounted. Sorry, I thought that was putting them to 6 with this attack. I don't know. I feel good about it. Obviously, didn't work out. You know, no Phoenixes in the top 20 cards of the library, but we were like somewhat likely to hit. Gotta play to win too. Yeah, they named Giant turn 1 with Cavern, which almost definitely means that they have it in the hand, and yeah, and we're still flooded. Dorothy with the 5 months, appreciate you. Yeah, I think for this deck you really do have to like, I don't think I've ever done a super good job articulating this, but there's a lot of moments with this deck where you just go all in with the Dragon Rage's channelers. You have 2 channelers, you have like 6 to 10 triggers you can trigger, and you have to hit like some combination of 2 Dart, 2 Phoenix to win. And like identifying like when those moments are can be kind of tricky, but I do think it's like a lot of times you just have to go all in. And it was definitely right too, because like my opponent's just killing me a couple turns later with that Titan, and the top of my library was not going to be more help. Thanks again, Dari, for the 5 months. Yeah, just throwing darts at a board. We can keep this hand. Lots of raids today. Thank you, Dingo, for the raid. Hope you're having a good one. Appreciate you. We weren't dead there. We weren't dead. Sorry, we weren't dead on board. I guess we. But if my opponent's playing either Bajuka Bog or Radiant Fountain, we have no outs. They're definitely gonna have one of those two, and they're gonna kill me next turn. And then the only out, even if they don't have Bog Fountain, if they mess that up, is I have to go Lightning Bolt to mill over a Lava Dart, which is maybe enough equity to keep playing. But I also don't mind just packing it up. You can type exclamation point deck in the chat, Danielle, for the list. Put it with the nut draw. If I was supposed to make them have it, yeah, probably, but there's also like, you know, the always underrated Magic players hate to give themselves any kind of like mental equity, but I just, you know, I don't mind saving myself a little bit of time. Okay, we keep that on top. There's almost no chance we can win. Well, we get to Graveyard of Phoenix. Okay. Put the Fear of Mutagenic Growth into him. but wasn't out with no fountain. So they have to have either no fountain or they have to have no fountain, no Bojuka Bog, which Titan always plays one or the other in the main deck. But maybe they don't get it right, and then I can draw Lightning Bolt, mill over Lava Dart, and that's theoretically a way to win. But maybe there's also just more equity in packing it in and going to the next game instead of waiting for 5 minutes to almost definitely lose anyways. If this were a tournament, maybe my attitude would be a little different. Okay, so I have 2 Phoenixes in the yard. I think I just want to go Swiftspear, Dart to make sure I get the Phoenixes back this turn. Could maybe mill over a third one. Not very likely to have 2 looks. Technically 3 looks, but I'm not going to sack this Steamens, I think. I also want to get Delirium, but I don't have a sorcery or artifact at the moment, and still don't. Iteration gave Delirium. Yeah, but Iteration didn't guarantee Phoenix. Dang. Did have a 3/3 flyer, just needed Dart Bolt from the top if they didn't have those lands. Yeah, I think we're talking in circles. That's exact. I've said that exact thing like 3 times now. That yes, if they didn't have either lands and we draw Dart, mill over, or Bolt, mill over Dart, then we win. But the equity there is just so low. Didn't have Dart in hand. Iteration Dart. I can't. How do I get the Dart in the yard? If the Dart's in the hand of my Iteration, I'm not definitely hitting a land. I'm not definitely hitting a land, am I? I can't discard it to the, because this is Shredder. This is Channeler, not Shredder. Like here, we could play it out, or we could concede for some mental equity. I thought I had 3 lands. I did not have 3 lands. I did not have 3 lands. Turrets is a pretty good card, huh? By a poker player, I play poker enough to like know the terminology, and I think a lot of it translates well over to Magic. It helps you think about the game, but I'm not like super knowledgeable. Okay, this feels like a good stopping point today. I was thinking about playing some of the John Coco deck, but it feels like a good stopping point to me. I might play some of that tomorrow. I like this deck. I like the Phoenix deck. It feels about the same as we played it last time. Totally reasonable, solid. Definitely has a lot of bad matchups in the metagame. You can overpower them sometimes with the net draws, and you just can't always hope to do that.